continuously and n times per year. Continuously is, again, so these are formulas that need to, do I need to mute you? Okay, so continuously, it's the accumulated value equals the principal, what we deposit, times e to kt. K or R sometimes is the growth rate. So R or K, same thing. A is the accumulated value. And P is the principal. So now compound interest can be compound or recalculated if you want n times per year. Well, there is a different formula for that. So that is A equals P, 1 plus R or K, doesn't matter, divided by n raised to n times t. Oh, I forgot to mention, t is time, years. Everything is the same. A is the same, P is the same, R is the same, or K, T is the same. So the only difference here is n. What does n represent? Number of times interest is compounded per year. And that has to be given to us, right?
Okay, quick question. So what's the top equation called?
Continuously. Compound interest.
Okay, got it. Okay, this is the continuously one. Okay.
And n times per year, it doesn't have n, so n is here. So this is n times per year, and that is continuous. Okay, so let's take a look at one of the problems here. Let's say compound interest 33, page 11 now. Oh, I meant for 11. So what was for 11? I forgot what we were doing for 11. Is it okay if we change it to when?
She was asking, when you said that on number 13, she didn't need to switch it to like the y equals mx plus b form. That individual meant like, but that they were referring to number 11.
I know.
When they said that.
I know, and the answer is no. Please, no. I said that several times. Please don't solve for y. So let me say it one more time. Please don't solve for y. You are making your life more complicated. We always look for the x and y intercepts. So I think I knew I answered exactly for 11, yes. Good. Okay, so let's take a look at 33 on page 11. Compound interest. Stateside brokers deposit, it's cut off here a little bit, so I'm assuming it's 30,000. So the principal, 30,000. And I'm assuming, as I said, I have a little cutoff here. Godel municipal bond funds, fine, at 4%. We do not use 4%, we use 0.04. We have to change decimals into, percent into decimal numbers. So R is the growth rate, but decimal number, not percent. Okay. How much is it, the investment worth? Rounded, of course, to the nearest tenth. We're talking about money. For after t equals 3 years, if the interest is compounded annually, that's part A, semi-annually, quarterly, daily, and hourly. So here's what we are going to do. And let me ask you, what is annually? How much is N for annually, N for semi-annually, N for quarterly, N for daily, and N for hourly?
Once a year.
1, 2, quarterly.
3, 4.
4, daily. We use 365.
365.
Correct. For hourly, I have to multiply 365 multiplied by 24 hours
24.
a day. Correct. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to create this function. We're going to write A equals the principal, 30,000, 1 plus the interest rate, 0.04, divided by, I should write N. Yes, it's N, but in the calculator I don't have N, so I'm going to write X. Raised to 3 times X. So this should be N, this should be N. But I don't have N in the calculator, so I'm just making a point. And after we enter this function in, we are going to replace X by what?
1,
And then,
2.
and so on and so forth. So I'm going to share my screen. Let's enter the function. Go to y equals clear. And let's enter 30,000. Left parenthesis 1 plus 0.04 divided by x, because I don't have n. I replaced temporarily n by x. Don't forget the caret for the power. I don't know what type of calculator you have, but I will always put parentheses because you may have different types of calculators. In some calculators, parentheses are not required for the power, in others, but I always put it in because, again, I can't see what calculator you have. Okay, so now, like we just did, we go to second and table, and we'll enter 1, then we'll enter 2, then we'll enter 4, then we'll enter 365, and then we'll enter 365 multiplied by 24, so the calculator knows how to do this. That's it. Now, this is not good enough. We have to go back up, scroll to the right to see the entire number, because in this column is rounded up or down or whatever. So now our answers will be, and I would like to create a table to summarize our answers. So here's the table. N and A. When N is 1, when N is 2, when N is 4, when N is 365, and finally, when N is, what was it? 8760. Okay, so the first number rounded to the 10th. They want the 10th, the nearest cent, of course, yeah, of course. So 33,745.92. Next one, scroll down. 33,784.87. The next one, 33,804.75. Next one, scroll down. 33,824.68. And the last one, 33,824.90. Any questions on this?
Are you recording this?
Of course. However, very good question. I'm not recording the screen. I'm recording, very good question, on a different device. So what I just showed on the calculator, no, it's not being recorded.
Thank you.
Very good question. Thank you. Okay.
I'm just writing the last two numbers real quick. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'll wait. You always, so work with me.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
No, I'm waiting for you to tell me what I need to do.
No, I was just writing down the last two numbers before you kept going. I was trying to
Okay.
make sure I had it written down correctly.
Okay. Okay, so I'm looking at the next situation. Something called annuity for an investment fund. So I'm going to copy the formula. Principal 1 plus, 1 plus r to the nth power minus 1 divided by r. I need to make some corrections here. And I also wanted to change that into bracket. Because I have a bracket there, I can finish with a parenthesis. So I need bracket. Okay, so it says P dollars are invested annually in an annuity, which is an investment fund, after n years. Okay, and this is the formula for the annuity is worth this. This is the worth after n years, and this is the principal, and of course R is the interest rate, as of course expressed as a decimal and compounded annually. So it's clear. So let's take a look at one example here. Kate invests $3,000 annually in an annuity, and it earns 3.05% interest. So obviously the principal is 3,000, and the interest rate 0.0305. So R equals 3.05%. Is everyone familiar with changing percent into decimal numbers?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Let me know if you have any. How much is the investment worth after 18 years? So obviously we are given that n equals 18. So again, we have to be very careful how we plug this in the graphing calculator. So we are going to write 3,000, 1 plus r, it's right here. I really don't need to put 1 plus r in parentheses. I just write 1.0305 raised to power 18 minus 1, and then divided by the interest rate, which is 0.0305, and close. So this is how we are going to calculate. Not a big deal, but be careful with parentheses and how you put them in. I'm going to share my screen and get out of there with second and quit. Clear whatever else you have in there. Put 3,000. And I want to specify we are not performing the calculation step by step and then write down and then one more step and write down the answer and one more step. Please. That's why I'm showing this. Everything has to be calculated. You are introducing more and more and more compounded error if you do that. So 1.0305 raised to power 18. So if it's just a number and no calculations, no operations, it's okay not to have parentheses. Minus 1, you have to close the parenthesis and then divide by 0.0305. So let me stop before I hit enter. So here it is. When I enter in the graphing calculator, I enter 3,000. Then I put parentheses around the numerator. I did not need to put parentheses around the denominator because it's just one number. Otherwise, I would have put parentheses around the top. Don't change anything. Let's say I have here plus 5, and I don't want to add them, okay, for some reason, or 5 to the 10th power. Don't add this. I'm going to white it out in a minute. So then I have to have parentheses around the top and parentheses around the denominator. But in this case, there is no need to. Okay? And again, I cannot stress enough. Do not perform the operations this and then plug it in and then divide and plug it in and then multiply by 3,000. No, everything has to be done in a blink. Okay, so I have everything. It's not a mistake if you want to put parentheses around this number. but there is no need. And now I will just hit enter, and this is it. 70,561.01. So approximately $70,561.01. Any questions? You're gonna see these type of problems, and I just wanted to make sure that you don't have any difficulties with this. Okay. Any questions for me? Okay, can you, right here, can you just upload this 1 second? Just, I want to see what you wrote, just to make sure you put all the parentheses, all the brackets, or everything, so that I can correct it now and not after a test. So I'll wait for a second. I'll sip a little bit of water.
Just this problem? Or do you
Just
want-
what you have in your notes here, yes.
All right.